The UK is considering direct military involvement in Russia's war against Ukraine. The unveiled plans call for the use of the full range of military capabilities, The Guardian reports. Military sources have said the British Army will enter the war or participate in peacekeeping operations in post-war Ukraine alongside its allies. The publication's article states, according to The Guardian, citing military sources, the operation could be carried out as part of a coalition of the willing. If these plans are implemented, various branches of the armed forces would be involved, from fighter aircraft to infantry units. UK Under-Secretary of State for Defence Luke Pollard confirmed the country's readiness to ensure the security of NATO's eastern flank. He also emphasised, our mission as a country is to support our NATO allies. British officials have previously repeatedly stated the need to strengthen support for Ukraine. At present, Britain's military has announced the first delivery of Ajax armoured vehicles 8 years behind schedule and amid questions about their relevance as cheap drones dominate the battlefields of Ukraine. The junior Defence Minister Luke Pollard said the first 50 vehicles, costing nearly £10 million each, were ready to deploy on NATO's eastern flank, though he acknowledged the problems of the past when delivery deadlines of 2017, 2020 and 2021 were all missed. There are a lot of lessons we can learn, Pollard said at an Ajax manufacturing site in Merthyr Tydfil, South Wales. The Ajax took many years to contract, and we need to cut that hugely to only a few months, he added. Though some acknowledged Ajax's reconnaissance functions could be replaced by drones. Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Rawlinson, an Ajax vehicle commander, said the cheaper technology had its own limitations. We haven't got to think. The second it's windy, we can't put our drones up, he said, and emphasized that with many cheap drones, the battery life is about 30 minutes to an hour. The British Army would enter a war or engage in peacekeeping in post-war Ukraine or elsewhere with allies and use a full range of military capabilities from fighter jets to infantry. Military sources added, building new armoured reconnaissance vehicles is deemed to be part of maintaining an overall UK military capability, while also employing 4,100 people in the UK. The Ministry of Defence has ordered 589 Ajax vehicles and their variants, with full delivery now due to be completed at the end of the decade.
A flotilla of indigenous activists from all over the world has been sailing 3,000 kilometers down the river to attend the UN climate talks in the Brazilian city of Belém. According to Associated Press, the Yanomami Amazonian flotilla departed from the Cayambe Glacier in the Ecuadorian Andes, descending different rivers until reaching the Great Napo, whose waters merge with the Peruvian Amazon. On board are more than 60 indigenous activists, artists and communicators not only from the Amazon, but also Guatemala, Mexico, Panama, and Indonesia. We have in common the territory, the resistance, and the struggle for the permanence of these territories, said Brazilian indigenous activist Vanessa Apurina. What we also perceive that we have in common, which is negative for us, are the large corporate projects, the big companies, mining companies, oil companies, deforestation, illegal fishing, the invasions of indigenous territories, and, mainly, the governments, she said. The name Yanomami, which in the Quechua language means mother of water, pays tribute to the spirit that unites all the waters of the continent, activists said. During its journey, the flotilla has visited dozens of riverside communities. They'll arrive on Sunday to attend the UN climate talks in Belém. Unlike past climate negotiations, and especially the one 10 years ago that forged the landmark Paris Climate Agreement, this annual UN conference isn't primarily aimed at producing a grand deal or statement over its 2 weeks. Organizers and analysts frame this conference of parties, known less formally as COP30, as the implementation COP.
A COP para nós do Brasil significa um passo muito grande, porque acontecer no território brasileiro, onde tem a maior biodiversidade de povos indígenas e onde vem uma ascensão muito grande da luta indígena brasileira, é significativa, porque nós, povos indígenas, somos 5% da população e defendemos mais de 82% da biodiversidade do planeta Terra.
Então, futuramente, a gente vai estar prejudicando o meio ambiente, vai estar prejudicando o nosso corpo também, né? Porque para que a gente possa levar a voz de que aqui tem indígenas, aqui existem povos indígenas, e esses povos indígenas, eles vão permanecer nesse...
São experiências, são lutas em todos os territórios, mas iguais. Muitas delas iguais, algumas diferentes, algumas estão voltadas ao petróleo, outras mineradoras. Então, cada vez que a gente vê essa luta, a gente sabe que juntos somos mais fortes.
O que eu percebo que na flotilha que temos em comum é o território, é a resistência e a luta pela permanência desses territórios. O que percebemos também que temos em comum, que é negativo para nós, são os grandes empreendimentos, as grandes empresas, empresas de mineração, empresas de petróleo, né, o desmatamento, as pescas ilegais, as invasões de territórios indígenas e principalmente os governos, que os governos ainda são o maior problema para os povos indígenas, porque entendemos de que é através do governo que deveriam ser implementados políticas e projetos de lei que garantissem a proteção dos territórios indígenas, e isso não é feito.